Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into a fascinating, complex, and highly specific worldview. Now, right up front, I want to clarify that all the generated audio and video content you're getting today comes directly from the teachings of Xu Feng, the founder of the organization known as Life Chain Yarn. We're going to unpack his intensely detailed roadmap of a coming global collapse and his proposed utopian rebirth. We'll be using his own words to really understand the exact structure of his vision for humanity's future.
Let's kick things off with a pretty stark warning directly from the text. After the Great Change occurs, even the most powerful empires will crumble and turn to ash. He really doesn't mince words here, does he? He is setting the stage for an unprecedented, completely earth-shattering paradigm shift.
So, to truly understand the solution being offered, we first have to map out the problem. Let's look at Section 1, the prophesied global cataclysm. According to Xu Feng, the impending crisis is, well, it's overwhelming. Over the next decade, he predicts a terrifying convergence of climate mutations. We're talking droughts, floods, hail, hurricanes, insect plagues, massive earthquakes, extreme temperatures, and widespread plagues. These disasters, he claims, will turn hundreds of millions of people into refugees, sparking widespread famine and a bloody struggle for finite resources like water. It's a vision that taps directly into the very real, modern anxieties we all feel about climate change and societal instability, but it amplifies them to absolutely apocalyptic levels. But the gravity of this prophecy goes even further. Beyond just the next decade, Xu Feng predicts a staggering global population reduction of more than 50% within the next 30 years. Let that sink in for a second. Half. He believes natural disasters and resource wars will literally have the human race. And as the population plummets, the infrastructure of the modern world just vanishes. The text predicts a world plunged into complete chaos without any central authority whatsoever. The United Nations and all national government functions will completely fail. Xu Feng explicitly lists superpowers, the USA, China, Russia, Germany, Japan, France, asserting they will simply no longer exist. With power grids dead and communications totally severed, humanity is thrust into a dark age. Even current religious organizations, he notes, will be too splintered and fractioned to save anyone from this despair. So, what is the actual trigger for all this absolute devastation? That brings us to Section 2, root causes of the crisis. Basically, the author blames a dual force for this irreversible crisis. On one side, we have what he calls a cosmic mandate, the universe's life adjustment script. And on the other side, colliding directly with this script, is the destructive mindset and consciousness state of recent human generations. Xu Feng insists that this trend is now completely irreversible. Humanity simply has to face the reality of the impending great change. All right, moving on to Section 3, Xu Feng's theory and practice. How exactly does the founder plan to guide the remnants of humanity through all this darkness? Well, Xu Feng's journey is actually highly systematic. He laid down his theoretical groundwork way back in 2002, shifted to practical application by 2009, and is now actively issuing public warnings. And his ultimate concrete goal? To build 256 survival communities, which he calls life oases, around the globe over the next 10 years to act as safe havens. Now, to govern these oases, there's a very strict ideology in place. The foundational texts are the Changyuan corpus and the Shui Feng corpus, and the absolute essence of these writings is distilled into a guide called the 800 Values for New Era Human Being. These texts essentially function as a theoretical blueprint for his proposed new society, a system of values that the author claims will successfully guide the survivors right into a new millennium. Which brings us to Section 4, Noah's Ark of Tomorrow. Let's take a closer look at the life oasis itself. He paints this picture. The wise are not left in the wilderness. The world is one family. No one pockets lost items. Doors are unbolted at night. This phrasing promises a beautifully idyllic society of perfect trust and harmony, completely devoid of the starvation and bloody resource wars tearing apart the outside world. It's a vision of profound safety, where people can live openly, freely, and without any fear of theft or violence. It's a really stark, utopian contrast to the chaotic global collapse we detailed earlier. The text describes a radically egalitarian future. From these 256 oases, a whole new world order will expand globally. It represents a complete reset of the human condition,
where traditional societal boundaries are just utterly erased. Think about it. No divisions based on race, skin color, or religious beliefs. The gap between rich and poor? Eliminated entirely. The result is one unified global family living a fundamentally happy and free existence.
And, this isn't just meant to be theoretical. Shufeng claims physical outposts are already established for those wanting early entry. He points to international family branches in places like British Columbia in Canada and another in Thailand. He actually actively invites people who want to understand this new life model to contact them and visit.
But here's the catch. Section 5, a choice for the wise. Because according to the text, not just anyone gets a ticket onto this proverbial Noah's Ark. The author is highly exclusive about who gets to survive and participate in this utopia. There's a really strict prerequisite. You must be what he defines as a wise person. He explicitly states that this entirely excludes ordinary, vulgar, or foolish individuals. Furthermore, he asserts that your spiritual intuition, not your standard logical reasoning or intellectual analysis, is what's required to truly grasp the truth of his message and this impending disaster. As he closes out his manifesto, Shufeng openly challenges you, the reader. He asks directly whether everything he has said is a lie or the truth. Interestingly, he notes that no one actively desires such a horrific tragedy to unfold. He claims he would much rather his movement become infamous and be proven completely wrong than see the world actually suffer the catastrophic destruction he's foreseen. And we're going to end our explainer with this fascinating little release of tension straight from the author. After outlining the death of billions and the total collapse of empires, he tells the public to listen if they will, or simply use his warning as amusing gossip, saying, treating this as a joke over tea is also a joy. It really leaves you to ponder the deeply complex nature of belief, the dramatic scales of prophecy, and the allure of this proposed utopia. I mean, what drives someone to meticulously map out the end of the world, only to cheerfully invite you to laugh at it over a cup of tea if you choose? It's definitely a compelling question to leave you with today. Thanks for joining us.